I'm a complicated man. And no one understands me but my woman. And in case you're wondering, no, I don't have a woman. Why? Because no one understands me. Cue the intro. Greetings and welcome to the Fan Perspective. I'm your host Nathan Nile, and this is WNBA Weekly, the show where, at least for the rest of the season, I will show up on Mondays and just talk about everything that's happened in the past 7 days and everything I'm looking forward to in the next 7 days. We had a very interesting week of action. There was not a lot of change in the standings, a little bit of shuffling around. Every team in the league played. Every team had at least one win and one loss, except for Minnesota. Minnesota went 2-0 this week, and the Fever and Dream went 0-2 this week. The one team that really caught my attention was the Chicago Sky, and I'm definitely starting to pay attention to them now. I finally decide, oh yeah, their season's over, they're playing like crap all year long, and then suddenly they decide to actually start playing well again. Most of that is due to the return of Courtney Vandersloot. She's missed so much time at the beginning of the season because of overseas commitments. She missed the start of the season, she came back, played a few games, then left again for the Euro tournament, then she just came back, and now that she's starting to get into the swing of things, suddenly Chicago looks like a legitimate playoff candidate. She has 2 double-doubles and then 1 assist shy of a third straight, and they end up winning 3 straight games. And then she has another double-double on Sunday, along with Stephanie Dolson, who seems to play much better with Vandersloot in the lineup as well. You know, they almost get a 4th straight win. They came so close so many times. But Dallas just hitting a bunch of clutch shots, sending it into overtime, double overtime actually, and Dallas is able to get the win. But Chicago has made some headway. That 3-game winning streak, that was enough. That now, combining that with the Fever's 4-game losing streak, suddenly the Chicago looks like they can start slowly climbing their way out of the basement. Because there are a couple teams ahead of them that really the gap isn't as wide anymore. And even more interesting, they're doing this without Cappie Pondexter, who many would argue might be the best talented player on the team. She's been out due to concussion issues, but when she comes back, which I think it's interesting, first of all, where is she going to fit in the lineup? They're going to move her to the starter, try to drive someone out, because Quigley's gotten off to hot starts every game that she's been in the lineup. She steps on the floor, is hitting hard. Vandersloot's getting those double-doubles, and Dolson's play has improved greatly recently. I mean, Cappie, she's definitely good enough. She can be in the starting lineup of just about any team in the league. But that's also another good reason to keep her coming off the bench, because she is a veteran who can come in and lead a younger second unit and help carry them, give them more offensive punch, be that vocal leader on the floor while the starters are getting their rest. Either way, Chicago has finally become interesting again, and I find myself once again actually wanting to watch their games. So we'll stop to take a quick look at your current standings. Some big injury news happening today. You have the Mystics losing 2 star players in one day. Delle Donne and Tayler Hill both go out with injuries. Delle Donne's isn't as severe. She missed Sunday's game, but that might have just been precautionary. She had dressed out. They just chose not to play her. So they're probably just choosing to take it easy with their star players, especially since they do have a little bit of breathing room right now. But Tayler Hill, unfortunately, torn ACL. She's out for the rest of the season. And then there's also Brittney Griner, who also hurt herself on Friday, and she's expected to miss the next month of action. It's unfortunate for Phoenix. Yes, they still have Diana Taurasi, still capable of putting up 30 points a game, but she hasn't been doing that this year. This entire team has been revolving completely around Griner, so I think this is going to be a rough stretch for them. You lose not only your top scorer, but your top blocker. And it's going to hurt them. And I just want to mention briefly Crystal Langhorne. She was a perfect 9 of 9 from the field in her game on Saturday when Seattle took down the Dream. And that beats her own record for the franchise, at least, where she had previously done 8 of 8 from the field. And so she has now made her last 18 straight buckets. and she is now 5 short of the record that Nneka did last year over a 3-game period, making 23 straight buckets. So we'll see how long Crystal Lancome can keep this going. Can she make her next 6 buckets? That'll make the Seattle a lot more interesting if she does. So we move on to the games that are being played this weekend. As always, I will tell you which ones are being broadcast nationally, and for the rest, check your local listings, or you can watch every single game on WNBA League Pass, and also the times that I mentioned on Eastern Standard Time. Be sure to adjust for your time zone. First thing I'm going to mention is that we do have a Monday game. Those are very, very rare for us. It's not on TV, but it is on at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it's featuring the Fever. And I mention them because they have the toughest schedule for the next 7 days. There are 6 teams in the league that only play 1 game. 5 of them playing on Thursday, so if you're going to skip work to just watch TV all day, it would be Thursday. That's the best day to do it. And then you have teams like, you've got the Sky playing 2 games in a row, both on the road. They're in the middle of a 5-game road trip, which will continue past the All-Star break. You've got the Sparks, who play 2 games at home this week. The Fever, though, they play the most games this week, 3 of them, and they play on Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. 3 days in 3 games over a 4-night period, all of them on the road. Fatigue will be a huge factor for them, especially since the first game on Monday is against the Sparks, who are undefeated at home, while the Fever have one of the worst road records in the league this year. So the Sky, while they don't necessarily have the greatest schedule right now, they still have a chance to climb out of the basement and grab at least 10th place, because this Fever, very good chance that they could end up with a 7-game losing streak this week. Now, it's also possible that they could put together 3 straight wins, but that's probably the least likely scenario. And even the game against San Antonio on Thursday, that game looks like San Antonio has a chance to steal their 3rd win of the year. Because the Fever, they're bad on the road in general, and like I said, that's their 3rd game in a 4-night period, and there's a lot of travel involved. We've got a couple of morning games this week on NBA TV at 11:31 on Tuesday and an 11 a.m. one on Wednesday. There's a Tuesday night game on ESPN2, and then we've got 2 Twitter games, one Wednesday afternoon and one Thursday night. And then we have no games on Friday or Saturday, because if you didn't know already, the All-Star game is being played on Saturday. That one's going to be broadcast on ABC at 3:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And I try not to make a habit of making predictions too much, but I'm calling it for the West. They just have so much more experience in the league in general and in this game itself. There are so many newbies on the East side, whereas the West, all of their starters, they've been in the league for so many years. They've been in this All-Star game for so many years. It's just hard for me to see them for losing it. So yeah, that's it for this edition of WNBA Weekly. If you enjoyed it, click like. If you haven't already, click subscribe. Tell me down below, who do you think is going to win the All-Star game, East or West? Are there any teams that you look forward to seeing in the second half of the year? Who do you think is going to surprise us with how great they play or how poorly they play? Don't forget to tune in next Monday for another brand new edition of WNBA Weekly. There will also be the mid-season power rankings. Also, I'm going to do a few mid-season awards. Just people who I think deserve the most praise for what they've done so far this season. Until the next time you see me in a video, my name is Nathan Lyle. This has been The Fan Perspective. I hope you have a great day.